Awesome. All right, guys, welcome again to our Monday sales training call. We got a special guest on the call today. This guy, I've known him since I've been in this business, just always been leading from the front. Great agency manager, top producer, and most recently, integrity partner, Mr. Stephen Yee. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Hey, Jermaine, thanks for having me, and I appreciate those kind words. Hopefully I can bring you around every time I have like a meeting, so someone can say nice things about me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So first of all, I'm loving the hat. I like that hat. I'm looking forward to getting one of those myself.
Yes, sir.
So great job. And I gotta say, I saw that on Facebook, you and wifey had a date night the other night. What was it that you all did? I thought it was pretty interesting.
So we went to see Silk Sonic, who's that's basically Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, and it was great, man. We haven't, like we live in Vegas, and Vegas has all these wonderful shows on the Strip, and like we never go, and so it was like it was a nice little celebration. It was kind of cool. It was great, actually. Cool. Best show I've ever seen in my life.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's that good. Yeah. Like I wanted to go a second and a third time. That's how bad. That's how great it was.
That's awesome. So, I got to come over there and see it. I love Bruno Mars. I really like him. So that's pretty cool. Awesome, man. Well, first of all, let's have you introduce yourself to everybody. We got a lot of new agents on the call, so some don't know you, some agents do. Introduce yourself to everybody. Give them a little bit of your background, how long you've been here with Family First Life.
Sweet, man. Yeah, so I've been here at Family First Life 4.5 years, right? Prior to me selling life insurance here, I was coaching high school basketball, reffing high school basketball, anything basketball related, that's what I did. And I coached high school basketball for 12 years. Quickly realized that I loved helping kids and helping people. The one thing that I didn't enjoy was that I made $1,000 for, the entire season. Wow. Right. And so for me, it was like, how can I do that very thing, which I can coach and teach and impact people's lives, but actually get compensated for it? Not that it was about the money, right? But at the same time, I got to be able to feed my own family. Yeah. And so that's where Family First Life kind of came in. And then, someone said this the other day, because I don't coach basketball no more, nor do I want to, because the dynamics of things have changed drastically, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I miss coaching. And they're like, no, you don't. You're coaching on a daily basis now. You just coach men and women in business. And I was like, that's a really good way to look at it, and because that's what I feel, at least. So, but yeah, like my first, I got started here in March 2018. My first, month in the business, or first 2 weeks, I should say, I was god awful. First 14 appointments that I had, I sold nothing. So like if y'all are running appointments and you're all brand new and you sold your first one before your 14th sit, you're better than I am, So yeah, my first month in the business was very part-time and made more with those. So I had 20 appointments, sat on 14 and only closed 4. Right. Yeah. On those 4 appointments, they paid me $5,000. And so I was like, wait a second. If they pay me $5,000 to suck in 2 weeks, you think they might mess around and pay me $10,000 to suck the home up, Jermaine?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I was like, let's go do that. And so, that's what we did. And the third month we broke, 20 and was able to pay off the wedding in cash. And 2 months after that, we were able to retire my wife and had kids and, live in our home and drive our dream cars and all that stuff. But I don't say that to impress you, because I feel like everybody has that opportunity here at Family First Life.
Yeah.
I just say that to let you know that it's possible, because 4.5 years ago, I was a loser. I was 27, living home with my mom. Like, say what you want to say, that I thought as myself as a loser, you know what I mean? And so this business allowed me to have the life that I have now, purchase a thing. I'm not saying, materialistic things are important, but, a home's a good thing to have, you know what I mean? So like being able to shelter my family is a good idea, being able to go to a restaurant, like we talked about, like you said, go to a date night. Back then our date nights looked like this. We would go to a restaurant and look at the prices and then order the food.
Yeah.
Because that's how bad of a situation I was in. Like we ordered the menu from right to left. Now we just go look at the menu and go, all right, you want that? Let's do it. Like little things like that mean so much. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not here to say like money is the end all be all, but it's like to be able to make decisions in your life and not worry about the consequences of finance is such a power to have. And I got that here, so like just letting y'all know that you can do the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember when my mom was really ill and she had my mom passed away from cancer, a handful of months ago. And being able to go to every doctor's appointment, being able to, buy a one-way ticket to Southern California and not worried about a return date, being able to stay at a hotel and not worry about the cost of the night, like, because it was the right thing to do to be with my mom.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's so much power in that. And so like, I want you guys to be able to have those very things for you and your family.
100%, man. And it's funny you say that, because I was talking to somebody. I was doing a recruiting call on Saturday, and I was just talking about the ability here to design the life that you want, and not too many careers offer you that opportunity, but we definitely have that here, and that's powerful. My condolences for you losing your mom, but the fact that you put in the work to be able to be in a position financially to be there for her and be there with her, during that time, that's powerful, man. That's really powerful. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that, would want to have that opportunity. So,
Jermaine, I want you to think about this though, right? Like every doctor's appointment I went with her, because I went to every single one. Now what happens is, like, they look at me and they go, how are you able to be here at every single one of her appointments? I'm like, oh, run my own business, whatever. Right.
yeah.
Well, what do you do for work? I sell insurance. Oh, I'm like, dude, don't do that. Because I'm like, what you don't know is, like, you're a doctor, so I know what you make.
Yeah.
And in insurance, we don't have a cap. You know what I mean? And so like an insurance agent can make 40,000 a year. They can make 400,000 a year. They can make 4 million a year. There's no cap.
Yeah.
And like, that's the power in what we have, Jermaine, was like, so many people, like when I got my life insurance license, my mom, my stepdad, my aunts, my uncles, they were like, oh, that was stupid. You should got a real estate license. I'm like, no, I got an insurance license.
Yeah.
And because they don't understand like most people in America do not understand the power of having an insurance license. Financial services has created more millionaires than any other industry, yet is the one that's most frowned upon. I don't know. Go make it make sense.
It don't make sense to me.
You know what I mean? And so like, for me, it's like so many people don't understand the value of the insurance license that they have at hand. And that's one of the things that we'll dive into before, you get to ask me some more questions. Like Jermaine, it ain't a secret that we're entering a recession. We're in one right now.
Yeah.
Right. Gas is at an all-time high. Housing is ridiculous. Interest rates are, buying a home right now would be foolish, because your interest rate on your home is like a 7-8%.
Yeah.
Right. Like car interest rates, like trying to purchase a car, the interest rates on that are through the roof. We are so far, in my opinion, in the toilet. Like, it's going to be a fun one coming out. But I say that to say this: while most Americans and most people in the country are going to have to experience that, it doesn't mean that no one on this call has to. The 26 of us on this call does not have to be in a recession, because we have a license to print money and control our own income.
Yeah.
I remember that in 2008, 2009, I met a gentleman who was like, I think his early 30s at the time. And like, we were in a down economy. We were in a recession, depression. And he didn't even know, because he never watched the news, and he was having the best year financially of his life. You do not have to participate in the recession. Does that make sense? Like all of us on here carry an insurance license. We do not need to be like everybody else. We can control all that. That's the double-edged sword of having an insurance license. It can be the best thing for you or the worst thing for you.
Yep.
So I didn't mean to go on the tangent, man. I'm just
no, but that's a good
up.
point, man. That's a good point. And that's why too, it's so important for us to be sharing and resharing, what we do here through social media, because we need to save a lot of people as well from going through a recession. There's a lot of people that I've been talking to over the last couple of weeks, and, they're just excited to get started in this career, because the career they're in, there's no future for growth. There's limitations, and it's not covering enough of what they need to be able to live and survive. And so I'm glad you touched on that, because that's super important. We can't be secret agents, right?
Right. Do you know? Okay. So this was the statistic in 2008, 2009. Most Americans lost their home because they couldn't have an extra $500 to cover their mortgage.
Wow.
$500. Now, like most of y'all on this call are successful agents. Y'all know that we can do that in like an hour.
Yep.
You know, like we hold the keys to some of these people from being able to stay in their home. That's why I'm not mistaken. Like you said, Jermaine, I'm not mistaken by sharing this opportunity. I know it's done for me. I got to go pay it forward. There's so many people that you meet on a daily basis that won't tell you because nobody wears their problems on their sleeves, but everybody's going through something. And you might hold that financial key for that very individual to get out of the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, there is no, like what I tell people when it comes to recruiting is there is no loss. There's only a hope for gain. And here's what I mean. Let's pretend, Jermaine, you are my server at a restaurant and you're sharp as heck. You give me wonderful service. And I'm like, hey, Jermaine, you look sharp and I don't know what you do here and all that stuff, but like, are you ever interested in making extra income? The worst thing that Jermaine can say is no. Well, look at it this way. He's not in my business now. I asked him that question. He's still not in my business. What did I lose?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But if he says yes and he joins my team, there's a hope of gain. You know what I mean? And like most people don't see that perspective when it comes to recruiting, which is why they're so fearful to recruit. Dude, your friends and family aren't here anyways, or else they would have. There's only a possible hope of gain when it comes to what we do. So anyways, go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
No, man, I know you're passionate as I am about this, man, because we know how our lives have changed. And I see plenty of people on this call whose life has changed or is changing at the moment. So let's back it up to where you began, though, because we've got a few new people on here. I see Ansley, I see Austin, Bria. I see quite a few new, Elena, Laura, Jody, bunch of new agents on the call, James as well. So when you got started, what was that like? Were you like gung-ho out the gate, let's go, I'm buying all the leads, I'm making all the dials, or were you a little bit hesitant? What was that approach like?
I went all in because that's the only way I know how to do it. But I was so bad, you know what I mean? Like I kind of shared with you guys earlier, it was like I failed miserably. First 14 appointments, I literally sold nothing. And I was trying to be someone that I wasn't.
What do you mean when you say that you were trying to be somebody that you wasn't?
So I had a chance to ride along with Andrew Taylor and I watched him close 6 deals in 20 minutes each.
Okay.
And so like when I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill this, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, I was trying to be like Andrew Taylor in the home. I'm not Andrew Taylor. I got to be like myself. Right. And so like what I realized was I was trying to be somebody that wasn't. I was trying to take someone's in-home presentation and literally mimic them instead of going, hey, I don't speak that way. That's not how I talk. That's not my vernacular. Let me talk the way I talk, but communicate the same thing. Right. And so like once I understood those things, business took off. But in the beginning, I was miserable and horrible because I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't.
That makes sense. No, that's good. And that accounts to, or that points to the fact that you have to take this and make it personal, because I know a lot of times there's so much, the good thing about FFL is there's so much training out there, in-home, phone script, all of that stuff. And I have agents sometimes that now they get bogged down like, man, I'm trying to study all these different approaches. What's your recommendation for a new agent to be able to help them, like not put up any hurdles, but let's go?
Well, number one, there shouldn't be, you know, like it's funny you say that, right? Like when I work with new agents, they go, hey, there's a phone script for age leads. And then there's a phone script for internet leads. And then there's a phone script for, you know, final expense and a phone script for more. No, dude, it's one phone script for everything. Matter of fact, it shouldn't even be a script. It should be a conversation. Yeah. Right. Because what you're doing is you're having a structured conversation. Here's what I mean. In every successful appointment that you'll book, Jermaine, there's 4 pieces. First piece is who you are, where you're calling from. Jermaine, this is Steven. I'm getting back to you about the form you sent back in to help pay for your funeral and burial expenses when you pass away. Jermaine, this is Steven. I'm getting back to you about the form you sent back in online for life insurance. Jermaine, this is Steven. I'm getting back to you about the form you sent back to help pay off your house in case of a death or disability, right? The opening is always going to be one of those 3 things because we run final expense, mortgage, or internet leads, usually, right? Here's what's different. Or that's the only difference. Everything else is the same. Part 2 is verifying information, right? Do I really need I'm going to be facetious, but like, this is what I mean. Jermaine, looks like you put down your date of birth is January 1st, 1950. Is that right? The address I have listed for you is 1234 Main Street in Atlanta. Like, I don't need a script to verify the information that you wrote.
Yeah.
Right? Part 3 is scheduling the appointment. Hey, Jermaine, they have me out in your area this upcoming Tuesday, right? What works better for you, morning or afternoons? Morning. Okay, great. I don't have a 8 o'clock, but I got a 9 or a 10:30. What works better for you? 10:30. Got it. Hey, Jermaine, let me know when you got to grab a pen and paper. Let me know when you're ready. I'm ready. Okay. Hey, my name is Steven. Confirmation code is FFL123. And what time were we meeting again? You repeat it back to me, 10:30. I go, right. Just wanted to make sure. Got it. Yep. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30. Hey, Jermaine, is there any reason why you won't be home tomorrow at 10:30 a.m.? You're like, I should be. I'm like, should be or will be, because I'm coming an hour away to come see you. So you're not going to be home. You might as well tell me now. I'll put you in next week. I'll take somebody else and put them in your slot. Right. So is there any reason why you won't be home tomorrow at 10:30? Oh, I will be home. Sounds good, Jermaine. I look forward to seeing you. The last part, which is part 4, is confirming the appointment, right? It don't matter if you look at Steve Giordano, Easton Patton, Zach Trudowski, Andrew Taylor, Paul McLean, Matt Smith. It don't matter, Mark me. It don't matter who you looked at. The words in the phone script are different. They are, because everybody talks differently. But they're going to introduce themselves, who they are, where they're calling from. Part 2 is they're going to verify the information that the client wrote down. They're going to schedule the appointment, and they're going to confirm the appointment. There's only 4 things that people do in a phone script. So if you can do those very things, you have a successful phone script, right? Some people go, hey, I drive in a white Toyota Camry. So when you see me pull up, put the gun behind the door or whatever. Like, some people do that. That's fine. That's their way of confirming the appointment. That's fine. Right. But that's what I mean is, like, I never got what I've taught agents is, like, everybody speaks differently. Like, if I try to get you to talk like me, you're going to be miserable because we don't talk the same.
True.
But if I can teach you the structure of what a proper phone call sounds like, you can talk like yourself and people will love you for it.
Makes sense, man. That's good. I'm glad you did that breakdown. And I'm assuming you probably have something similar for how you break down your in-home. Do you have it structured in that way as well?
So when I ran face-to-face and in-home, it was very simple, right? When I knocked on your door, everybody goes, what do you say when you get to the door? You open, hey, Jermaine, this is Steve. We have at 3 o'clock. It's 3. That's what I said. Like, everybody wants some special script. And I'm like, no, I didn't know what to say either. So I just say, hey, I have an appointment with you at 3 because we do. And it's currently 3. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I said. Hey, you open the door, let me come in, and you take me one way. No matter what, I was always going to the kitchen counter. Hey, Jermaine, I have a laptop and all this stuff. So, like, is there a way we can go to your kitchen counter or your dining table so I can lay my stuff down? Because if I go to the couch, I'm not able to do that, right? And not only that, nothing happens on the couch. So did that. Hey, here's the lead. I literally hand you the lead that you filled out. And then I'm getting everything ready. And then, like, after you look at it for like 15 seconds, I pull the lead away from you. Like, I take the lead out of your hand. Like, I pull it back, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go right into financial inventory. Hey, Jermaine, people fill this out for 1 or 3 reasons. The first reason is they don't have any insurance. Second reason is they have some insurance, but they need more. Third reason is they have everything they want. They just want to leave more behind for their kids and grandkids. Which one are you? Got it. You don't have any insurance? Perfect. That's the reason why I'm here today, to make sure that we cover that. All right. Hey, Jermaine, how young are you? Boom. Right into financial inventory.
Makes sense.
Like, people go, how much rapport building you do? Absolutely 0. I never did. I built rapport in the application when I sold you. Because I'm not going to build rapport with the client that's going to tell me no. If you're very good at what we do, you'll find out within 7 minutes if they're going to buy or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, that's why for me, like I'm not going to sit there and go, wow, Jermaine, that picture, where is that? Is that Greece? Wow, dude, how was that, dude? Like, what, Santorini? Wow, beautiful. Dude, you got a trophy? Are you in a bowling league? I'm not doing that. It's fake. And the clients know. So for me, I was just kind of like, let me go right into it. Hey, Jermaine, were you, how long you lived here? 15 years. Wow. Okay, cool. So, like, where'd you move prior? Where were you from? You're always in Atlanta. Oh, okay. Like, I'll do that, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. Because guess what? Those questions are on the application, right? America asks, have you lived here for 6 years or less, or 5 years or less, I should say, right? That's part of the question. I want to know the answers to the application.
Yeah.
Right. Were you born and raised in this country? No, I was actually born, in another place. Oh, cool. Like, what made you guys come here? Guess what? That question is on the application. I'm not rapport building, but it looks like I am. I'm getting information for the application.
That's powerful. I'm jotting that down, Steve. I'm taking notes too, if you have noticed. Okay, then make sure you guys are taking notes. So one of my biggest pet peeves is when people come to training and they're not taking notes. It's like you don't know everything. Be humble enough to admit it and take some notes as you're learning.
Well, it's not even that. Like, people don't like. Let's just say you're a genius, which most people aren't. Even if you were a genius, you'd be operating at 10% of your brain's capacity. My mentor always told me, why would you trust your brain to remember something when you can handwrite it and the paper will remind you forever?
Yeah.
Like, if I asked you, hey, what did so-and-so say like 3 days ago? You probably forgot already, but if you wrote it down, you wouldn't.
True. Exactly. Absolutely, man. So talk to me a little bit. I know, like, for me, one of my biggest struggles, I talked about this in the podcast recently when I got started, was being direct and guiding the clients through the process, and almost, telling them, hey, we're going to do this, because I felt like I was forcing them. And I came from a customer service background where I had to be more nice than I was direct. So what did you struggle with that? Or if not, what did you struggle with and how did you overcome that?
100%. So, like, I believe the number one objection that everybody gets in the home in the home, regardless if you're brand new or not, is I got to think about it. Well, they got to think about it because you're not direct, right? So, like, this is what I did in the beginning. Remember, I said 0 for 14. Guess what? Every single one of my clients loved me. Those 14, every single one of them loved me, wanted me to come back for the barbecue, told me they were going to think about it and then eventually buy from me like a week later. Nobody ever answered the phone ever again. So, like, when people say those things, guys, like, for those of you on the call, like, I'm going to say this as nicely as possible. It's a polite way for them to say, get the F out of my house. It's a nice way for them to say it. Hey, I got to think about it. It's a nice way for them to say, leave my house, please. Unless you know what you're doing, right? And so, like, I got good by going, no, you can't think about it. So, like, going back to my presentation, like, the setup was like, after I got the financial inventory and the health and the finance and the health, I would literally draw this chart out and be like, Jermaine, like, my sole job is to figure out if you're going to apply or decline. So, like, if you qualify, like, so my sole job is to figure out if you qualify or do not qualify for insurance. If you qualify, I'm going to give you a few options. At that point, you have to either apply or decline coverage. If you decline, you sign my notes. I'm in and out of your hair in 7 minutes. It's not a problem. If you apply, the insurance company is going to ask you for 3 pieces of information: driver license, social, banking. They're going to check these databases to make sure you are who you are. Not only that, you don't have any reckless, DUIs. You don't have any prescriptions that you didn't tell me about, blah, 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 blah. And we need a voided check to be able to put it into the policy, right? Boom. Got it. At that point, you got 30 days to make your final decision. You can either increase the coverage, lower the coverage, or you can replace it for something else. I never say cancel, right?
Yeah.
Does this all make sense? Yes, it does. Perfect. Now, when I get to now that I write the numbers out, the quotes, hey, these are your 3 best options. Jermaine, which one do you like? I like the middle one. Great. I only need a driver's license to get started. You have 2 options. You either go get your driver's license, which means you buy.
Yeah.
Or you give me pushback, which is, hey, Steve, I don't make decisions on the first day. Right?
Yeah.
And then I go back to that whole thing. Hey, remember when I told you I was here to figure out if you apply or decline? Remember, I don't care. I'm not your spouse, significant other, or your son. It's like, when you die, nothing happens to me. As a matter of fact, when I die, my family's taken care of. Sometimes I like too much. But like, when you die, nothing happens for your family. Matter of fact, they might be homeless. Right? So, like, I really don't care which one you pick. But remember, I don't care if you apply or decline. You just got to do one or the other. And I literally throw it back in their court. Well, I don't want to decline. Then you got to apply. Well, I don't want to apply. Then you got to decline. I don't care, dude. I really don't care. Right? And once I started doing that, here's what I realized. 70% of the people that I almost guided, I should say guided, because I didn't push them. I guided them to make a decision for the family. They kept them. And most of the time they were like, dude, I'm glad you pushed me to make a decision because we've been putting this on hold for like a year. Cool. And what I realized, Jermaine, was this isn't customer service. Everybody thinks this is. No. This is peer 101, like doctor patient.
Yeah.
If they could have bought if your clients could have bought the insurance policy without you, they would have, but they can't because they're not licensed. Right. And so the other thing was like, one of the things I can tell you was like, most people take the customer service route, which is the reason why they get annihilated in the field, because your clients are going to run and bully and just run over you. This is what I can share. And this is a learning experience. So when my mom was sick, she went to a smaller hospital in the beginning. And when she was diagnosed with cancer, the oncologist came in and was like, well, Steve, based on what we see, like you hear the uncertainty.
Yeah.
Based on what we see, we have a few options. The first option, we're going to do this. And then this is your like side effects. The second option is we can do this. And then, this is your, and then the third thing we can do is this, or don't do anything at all. What do you think, Steve? And I'm like, I literally said, MFer, I didn't go to school for this. You did. Because I didn't. I didn't go to school to become a doctor. Matter of fact, a cancer doctor. Why are you giving me the options? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hated that dude. Matter of fact, I really disliked him a lot. Right. My mom gets transferred out to one of the most premier cancer treatment centers in the United States. It's called City of Hope. Phenomenal. We go to City of Hope. I'm same situation. Now they have all my mom's charts and x-rays and CT scans and MRIs and all this stuff, right? Literally, doctor, boom, knocks the door down as he comes in. He goes, all right, this is the situation we got. This is what your mom has. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do a kyphoplasty, which that basically means is we're going to do a surgery on her back. We're going to cut out the bone, take the cancer out. We're going to fill it with cement. It's going to be painful on a 0.02% chance that she'll get, a side effect of this or this or this, but the pros outweigh the cons. This is what we're going to do for treatment, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like he didn't give me a choice. He was like, this is what we're doing because I'm the expert. I went to school for this. Matter of fact, I'm the expert cancer doctor here, not you. So why would I ask you for advice? And see, like, y'all carry the insurance license. Y'all are the doctors. You need to tell your client, based on my expert professional opinion, this is what you get. And when he was so confident, I was like, we're doing that. He didn't give me multiple options to pick from and then like literally leave it in my hands. He was like, no, this is what we're doing. This route.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like we as agents, when you're too nice, when you're customer service based, you give them too many outs. You're never going to see these people again. Matter of fact, I've ran, 5, 6, 7, 10,000 appointments throughout the handful of years that I've been here. I've never ran across one of my clients at like an Albertsons or a grocery store. Never. And we live in a small town. You know what I mean? Because like, dude, I'm never going to see these people again. And if I wasn't going to push right then and there, I was never going to push ever. I was like, I'm never going to see them again. Like the worst thing they can say is no.
Makes sense, man. That's powerful. I hope you guys got that. That's super powerful. It's funny because I ran a couple of appointments in the field with a new agent this week. And I felt like the scenario with you and Andrew, because we closed the ones that we did sit with. And I was like, man, I wanted one of these to be a no sell so you could see the bad and the good. But it didn't happen that way. But, I'm sure he could agree. He's like, when I went in there, it's like we knew what we're going to do. And I explained the process. And I said, OK, here's what we're going to do. And then, we did it. And that was it. And that's the key to this business. And that's something that initially, like me, you might not be 100% comfortable with, but you're either going to get there by hearing this call and implementing it, or you're going to be so frustrated from having a bunch of friends in those sales that you're going to make the switch, right? So let's talk about this real quick, because we've got a lot of new agents on here, and then we also have current agents on here, and we hear there's 30 appointments a week. In your opinion and from your perspective, how important is it to put the numbers in your favor, especially when you're new, but continually to kind of hit your goals? And what does that look like for you?
So once again, my whole premise, I sucked at selling insurance. I needed all the help I can get, right? And so like stacking the deck in your favor, this is what it means for me. Matter of fact, Brandon Kitchings was the one that really taught me this. So what most agents do, Jermaine, if we go, hey, today, Monday's a Dow day, you need 100 leads, right? They buy 100 leads and the goal is to book 30 appointments, right? And throughout the week, 15 and 15. So now they go, Jermaine, I don't need to buy any more leads. I got 70 still. That's the problem. They try to take the tree and shake it for more fruit instead of go getting another tree. See, like I sucked so badly. So like I had 70 leads left. You know what I did the following day? I bought another 100 because it's a lot easier to book 30 appointments on 170 leads than 70 leads.
True.
Right? And so now what happens is now I have 170 leads. I booked my 30 appointments. I read the premium that I write. Now I got 140 leads left. Once again, I have the decision to make. I can try to shake these leads for more fruit, or I go get a new batch of leads. So what I did was, boom, give me another 100. So now I got 240 leads. I can promise you it's a lot easier to book 30 appointments when you got 240 leads than 70, than whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And here's what I can tell you. Some of the appointments, yes, I totally understand. Some of the appointments you book in week 3 are going to be appointments from like clients from like week 1. But it's because you have a stack of leads. So your dial time goes from like 10 hours to 8 hours to 7 to 6 to 5 to 4 because you have more people to call. That was all this was. I was just trying to find 30 people a week that knew that I was coming over for life insurance and they were going to be there. And so like stacking the deck in my favor was basically putting the odds in my hands, making sure that I had plenty of people to call when I needed to come to dial day, right? Jermaine, I learned this from Joe Miller early on in my business. He said, I rather have too many leads to call and it forces me to get in the field because I just spent so much money, rather than I need to be in the field because I have a bill to pay and I'll have no leads. Because that second person is desperate. Now they do things they're not supposed to do, write clients they're not supposed to write, stretch premiums, all that stuff. Now chargebacks, all that. It's just not a good place.
Yeah.
So like I never sold people I wasn't supposed to sell because like I had too many leads. So when they say no, kind of like what we talked about, hey, you got to apply to decline. I'm going to decline. Cool. I'm out. On to the next. Like I never thought about that person ever again because I had so many people to call. You know what I mean? And so like that's what it means for me is stacking the deck in your favor is putting the odds in your favor, right? But the other thing is making up, like write this down for those of you taking notes, making up in numbers what you lack in skill. I make up in numbers what I lacked in skill. You're brand new. You will suck when you're brand new. You won't be as good as you will 3 to 5 months from now. Why? Because you're brand new. That's it. Like, because you're brand new, you haven't got enough reps yet. It's like, Jermaine, if we go to the gym, right? And I hate lifting weights. Let's say the bench, we got, 2 plates on there. It's 135 pounds. First day at the gym, man, that's heavy.
Yeah.
But if I go back for the next 3 to 4 to 5 months, it's not heavy anymore. Why is it not heavy anymore? The weight's the same, but I got stronger by doing more reps. You will get better at doing this. There's only so many objections they can possibly tell you. You got stronger by handling all the objections on every single dial day. So now in month 4, month 5, month 6, you're a vet on the phone compared to the first week on the phone. You were awful, and you will be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's powerful right there, man. And let me ask you this, and then we could wrap with this and then anything else you want to share. But a lot of times our mind, we were talking about this with John Wetmore last week, how our mind is programmed for negative. So I like to kind of piggyback on that a little bit. And the question there would be, what are some of the things you see agents who fail at this business? Because they do, it's a reality of life. What are some of the things that they do or don't do that causes them to not make it in this business?
I don't think agents fail in this business, Jermaine.
Yeah.
I think agents quit the business.
Powerful. Here's
what I mean. Like Trey Honeycutt. I love Trey. I've known him for like 12 years. You can even look at myself. I failed this business like tremendously. I just failed my way to the top though. I didn't go Hall of Fame my first year. I didn't even go Hall of Fame my second year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I failed tremendously in the field. I just didn't quit. I just outlasted all the people that quitted. That's it. But here's what I can tell you. The negativity, right? Like we're talking about negativity, and I'm not going to pretend that there isn't any. Here's what I've always wanted. My mentor when I was 19 taught me this. They said, hey, Jermaine, if we can put a microphone in your ear to hear your thoughts, would it be a happy movie or would it be a scary movie? And I was like, damn, you know what I mean? Because I was like, it's a scary movie. And he was like, well, change that. You can control your thoughts by 4 things: what you read, what you see, what you listen to, and who you associate yourself around. Right? I'm gonna repeat that again. You can change your thoughts because you can control your thoughts. You can change your thoughts by basically what you read, what you see, like physically see, what you listen to, and who you hang out with. Like law of association type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I mean. You know how crazy it is to me that Americans, like people do this. They wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is watch the news. There's nothing good on the news for you to see. It's always something negative. Hey, this person killed this person. This, robbery happened down the street from your house. This car got broken into. It's always negative. And then at night, people watch the news before they go to sleep. Just as stupid. Why? Because your brain cannot filter that.
Yeah.
Like here's proof. Like this is how powerful your mind is, your subconscious mind. Jermaine, you ever been so dang tired from work that you drive home and you're tired, right? Like you're so tired. And then you get home and you're like, how'd I get here?
Yeah.
Because your brain went into autopilot. Your subconscious mind is what really took care of everything. But it drove you home. You didn't get in a car accident. The car's still intact. You didn't run over no kids. You're still home because your subconscious mind is on autopilot, right? You can't tune off your subconscious mind. So like I say that because if I can control what I see, I'm not going to watch the news in the morning and at night. If I can control what I read, I'm not going to go read a BS gossip magazine. I'm going to read a book that's going to change my life.
Yeah.
If I can hang out with people that aren't going to be negative Nancy's, but with people that are going to grow, then I'm going to go do that. It's no surprise that I shouldn't say it. It's no surprise that my income grew after I moved to Vegas because everybody here, when I moved into the Vegas office, I was with Andrew Taylor, Zach Chudowski, Josh, and Alondra. Every one of them made more money than me, but it was no secret that by the time I moved here, I instantly entered that 7-figure realm because they were all making the same.
Yeah.
I was around them. We talked about it all day. I listened to them all day. I read about it everywhere on books and, everything. I was engulfed in it. So like negativity can be drowned out. Like think about it like this, and I'll leave it with this. Let's say you got a cup, right? I don't have one, but let's just say you have a cup in front of you. It's clear and negativity is dark. So let's just say we pour a can of Coke in there, right? And it's dark and it's nasty and it's, murky and it's ugly, right? Well, positivity is like water. It's clear. If I take one bottle of water and I pour it into the Coke, is it going to drain out the Coke? No. But guess what? The Coke gets lighter though.
Yeah.
It's from black to like dark brown. But if I take like a 5-gallon jug of water and I pour it into that can of Coke, that can of Coke gets flushed out.
Yeah.
So how do you flush out negativity? By putting so much positivity in. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, makes 100% sense. And I think that's so powerful. Talk about that. And I know we said we'd wrap with this, but you just hit a vein because I see so many people struggle because they don't reach out. They don't reach up. Just like you mentioned, you moved to Vegas and you got around individuals in this business that were succeeding at a high level. Talk about that a little bit, and also about you like reaching up to whether it's Andrew or anyone else, because I think a lot of times agents wait for somebody to reach down to them and they're afraid or nervous about reaching up and forcing that association and forcing that relationship, which is what I did. But go ahead.
Right. I mean, like there's no glory in struggling by yourself. Like you don't get an extra medal or a trophy at conference because you did it by yourself. You know what I mean? And so for me, it was like, I was not mistaken. I wanted to go shorten my learning curve. And the best way I shortened my learning curve was going, hey, Jermaine, what did you suck at in the beginning? Oh, I didn't buy enough leads. Note to self, buy enough leads. Oh, what else did you struggle with? Oh, I was too nice in the home. Note to self, be direct. Like, if you were going to give me the blueprint to not fail, why would I replicate your mistakes? Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
all these mentors that you're talking about, they did better than me. They sold more than I did. They built a bigger business than me. So like when I got around them, I asked very targeted questions. Andrew, how did you sell at a Hall of Fame level and build an agency at the same time? Oh, this is how I did it. Got it. Note to self, put it in my mind, write it down, put it in my phone, whatever it is. Got it. Zach, how do you have the highest issue pay per writer in the entire company? This is how I did it. Boom, 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 boom. Go do that. Right. And so like, I had to go seek that knowledge. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it's like no surprise. Like when people go, hey, like for example, like when people were like, are you surprised? Are you, I say this very nicely. They go, are you happy that you're an integrity partner? I'm like, I mean, no. Like, would you be happy if you worked your entire life for this and like prep for it and gave it everything you got and then you got it? Like, I'm not happy. Like, this was expected.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, no, I knew this was going to happen. It was just a matter of time.
Yep, exactly.
It's like when I played a basketball game, like if I, like, let's just say you play against a team that sucks and you beat them. You're not happy. Like, you're not jumping for joy and running around laps because you're like, we knew we were going to beat them and we did beat them. Like, that was expected.
Yeah.
Right. That's how I feel. And so like, I just sought after information so I can take my learning curve instead of, let's just say 3 years, cut it to 2.5, cut it to 2, whatever I can do to shorten that learning curve, I was in for. And by the way, sometimes I sought advice to actually not do those very things. That's powerful too. Asking someone that is not doing as well as everybody else and go, hey, what are you doing? And then whatever they said, I wasn't going to go do that.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like we go, hey, you know, knowledge is power. Not really. Applied knowledge is power. Google has all the knowledge in the world, but like being able to take it and actually applying it, that's where you get your power. You know what I mean? Disseminating which information is good for you and your group.
Makes sense, man. That's powerful. I appreciate you sharing that. And I think we have one question in here in the chat. And let me see here. This is a great one, I think. Cam asked, hey, if you get 150 leads, what's your strategy for dialing them? Do you break them up in the 30s? Like, how do you approach that as an agent?
25 to 30 at a time, working in one batch at a time. And then after I get 3 batches, then I re-hit the first batch again. So like I'm calling lead number 1 to 25 all at once, triple dialing them so that they get 3 calls. And then I call batch 26 to 50, 3 calls. And then I call batch, 51 to 75, 3 calls. And then I go back to batch number 1 and hit them again. I don't just dial them out. It's because what I'm trying to do is break it. And I want small wins. And small wins is like, I made the call today, right? Like if I go, if I have 150 leads, I'm like, that's a tough list to hit if I'm manually dialing, right? But if I go, no, I took my stack of 25 and I called those ones, small win, check. Call the second batch, small wins leads to big wins, man.
Yeah. 100%.
Most people overlook the small wins. The small wins lead the big ones.
Yeah.
Especially when momentum's on your side.
Yeah, that big mo. Once you get it, you got to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. How your agency total sales on a monthly basis, what's that averaging right now?
1.1, 1.2.
1.1, 1.2. So I wanted to say that because I want to give hope to the individuals that are on the call today. Someone like you 4 years ago, getting started with Family First Life, sucking initially at doing
100%.
and being able to scale a business by getting in the right environment, putting in the right amount of work, activity, consistently, discipline, to be able to now have an agency that's doing almost 2 million on a monthly basis, on its way to 2 million a month. I mean, that's super encouraging that opportunity is here at Family First Life. And now being an integrity partner, which is, what we all strive for here. So I'll give you the last minute here, man. Any last words for us as an agency? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, man. I mean, you kind of just hit the nail on the head. And once again, Jermaine, I appreciate you for doing this, because you don't understand how many people don't do this for their group. Like most of you, like the 27 of us on the call, like the 26 of you guys that are working with Jermaine, like some of y'all don't understand that. Like you go, oh, like we do these calls every week with Jermaine. That's a good thing. Like there's agencies out there that don't provide any value to the agents they work with. So number one, you should be very, very grateful for Jermaine booking calendars of other people and literally letting them pour into you. He's doing the hard work for you. That's part one. Part two is this. I kind of just shared that earlier. I failed my way all the way there. Some of y'all feel like failures right now, and that's perfectly fine. But like, I just outlasted all the people that quit. Like if I gave you like, if I listed like, I can list like 25, 30 names, and most of y'all be like, who are they? Exactly. They're not here no more. But here's what I can tell you. They were kicking my behind at one point, to the point where I thought about quitting, but I didn't. I just outlasted them. Like you go, hey, Steve's on the way to Steve and the group is on the way to 2 million a month. 100%. I don't know when we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. And I expect to do it because I'm not leaving. I'm not quitting. So whether we do that in the next month or the next year, I expect to do it. You know what I mean? And when we get there, I'm not going to be like, woohoo. Like, no, we knew it was happening. We built everything for it. We put the structure in place, systems in place, procedures in place to do it. Right. And so the best thing I can tell you is run your own race. A lot of people want to take their results and compare to other people. Here's what I can tell you. There's always a story behind the story that you don't know about. Someone comes in here and writes, $1 million worth of insurance in like 22 minutes. Like, dude, there's a story behind the story. And don't compare them to you. And here's the other thing. Those guys might not even be here 6 months from now. And so like the best thing you can do is, hey, as long as your family is doing better now than it was before, prior to Family First Life, that's all that matters. The only scoreboard you should be checking on is, am I doing better than I was? That's it. You know what I mean? And so many of us get caught up in all the other things that we're doing. I remember when I was brand new, I'd go out in the weekend and like protect 7, 8 families. And then like, it was like the best week, best day, best month I've ever had. And then it's like, I go see someone in FFL to go, oh, 15. And I'm like, God, I suck. And then I'm like, dude, I don't even know this person. I'm letting them steal my joy. And like, they don't even know they're doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just go stay. Like, I'm like, no, like I'm better than I am a year ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, 2 years ago. I'm in a good spot. Let me just put my head down and go to work and don't quit.
100%. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can't thank you enough, man. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for what you shared. Thanks for the value you brought to the team, man. Appreciate you so much. And we definitely got to do it again soon. So thank you very much.
Got it, Jermaine. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me. And hopefully this helps. I hope I didn't waste an hour of you guys' time. And if there's anything I can do for you guys, please let me know. Please reach out. All right. Have a great one, guys.
Thanks.